Hey guys, Troy here from Brisbane Marine with some really exciting news on a project we're about to embark here at Brisbane Marine. We want to take you guys along for the ride, so let's step inside and see what all the hype is about. Well, here I am inside the shed, standing in front of the all-new Mercury 7.6 litre V12 outboards. We have two of them here behind us. We've got an exciting new project. We're going to fit them up on a new 14 metre Roger Hill design boat built by Noosa Marine up in Noosa. This all-new engine by Mercury is an amazing new engine. It has steerable gearcase, twin propellers, 2-speed transmission, autopilot, joystick, a bunch of great new features. And we're going to bring you along for the ride, show you the fit up, the installation of the engines, the water test and the final data. So stay along for the ride, and I hope you enjoy the process of fitting up the all-new Mercury V12 by Brisbane Marine. I'm standing here with Julian, the master craftsman boat builder that has built this beautiful boat that we're fitting the 600s to. Julian, would you please tell us a little bit about this boat?
Yeah, it's a Roger Hill designed 14 metre high performance powerboat basically. It's a custom one-off, only one in the world. Composite construction, all epoxy foam core. Hoping to get a top speed around 50 knots.
Wow, that's good.
Probably going to weigh in around 7 tonne.
Yeah.
Finished. It is actually being built to Australian Standard Survey, so it will be a private charter vessel when it's finished.
So this morning we already fitted up the port engine. We wanted to do a dry fit to make sure we had the engine height right, to make sure we got the right bolt lengths. Being a new fit up, a new engine, we just wanted to be sure. So now Chris and I are about to unpack the starboard engine. We'll fit this one up and see how we go bolting this one up. Chris is just undoing the last 2 cowling latches on the rear of the engine, then we'll lift this top cowling off. That'll give us access to the lifting points of the motor, so we can get it out of this big old stand and get it on the boat. While we get it there on a bit of wood. Alright, so we're lining the motor up. We've got to re-drill through the stainless plate. We've got a stainless supporting plate on the inside of the transom for the bolts. Naturally, with the weight of these engines, it's nice to have the most support on the transom we can. So we're just going to knock these bolts out, move this motor, and just realign this stainless support bracket. There we go. Do we want to secure this transom first? So right now we're just lining up the top bolts. Top bolts we're putting in dry. We'll secure the lower 4 bolts. The reason why we're doing the top bolts dry is we're going to remove them once the engines are on and put some epoxy behind these support plates to bed them in so the transom's 100% square. Having the transom 100% square will mean we'll have no issues in the future, and being a heavy engine, more heavy, 600 horsepower, 600 kilos, means we're not going to have any issues in the future with the mounting of the motor on the boat. We've got the top bolts, nice big 5/8 bolts holding these big engines on. We actually use 6 on this transom instead of the smaller outboards using 4. We've got the top bolts to temporarily align the motor up. Chris has gone down inside the bilge of the boat. He's going to put the bottom 4 through. I'll put some sticker on the bolts once they get through the transom, and we'll pull the motor forward into the boat and torque it onto the transom. Alright, that's it. Both engines are finally mounted, all bolts are torqued. Now we've got the joy of hooking up all the electrical, fuel line and battery cables to the motor. So I'll go outside and pack the crates up. I'll get Chris inside here to start connecting all the engines up, and then hopefully soon they'll make some noise. So what we're doing now is we're building the vessel personality. So on the laptop here, it's going to ask us the length. So the length is 45.6 feet or 13.9 metres. The beam is 12.6 feet wide. And the dead rise angle is 20 degrees, dead rise. Transom angle is 14 degrees, is 0. If we put a max vessel speed, let's work on 50 mile per hour. it up. Just got to see the boat builder drilling in for the weight. So fully loaded, she's going to come in around 9 tonne, kilogram, 2.2 pounds to the kilo to pounds. We have also integrated a Vetus bow thruster which will work in with this Mercury joystick system here also. So it's a little bit more in detail personality, but once you've got all the information in place, the way the Mercury system works out in the water is amazing. Just takes a little bit of time in setup, but you take the time to do the setup right, you've got a better performing vessel at the end of the project. Gearing the vessel with temporary connected power because the boat's not fully wired yet. And we've got batteries there, we've got a battery up here to power the NEMA network. And we're going to send the correct configuration to the vessel. Right now we've got to check. We're trimming it to check vessel harnessing to confirm we've got everything plugged in the right direction, which we have. Chris is down the back of the vessel. He's checking all the fluids on the engines for the transmission, the gearbox and the engine. Port serial number is 3B. Alright, so here we are installing the front set of props on these engines. One sec, Chris, let me screw this up. Right, away you go. The Mercury 600 runs a twin prop setup. The front prop's a 4-bladed propeller, the rear prop's a 3-bladed propeller. So multi-directional, so the front propeller will turn counterclockwise and the rear propeller will turn clockwise for ultimate thrust. So we're just tightening up the front set here. Chris has got to put a lot of oomph into this. So got to be nice and tight. We'll bend the snap-on breaker bar. Beautiful. Now we'll put the front propellers on. This one only got to be to 100, Chris. An old trusty bit of wood to hold the propeller in place, saves you from hurting yourself, cutting your hands. For the manual drive alignment. So I put the straight edge across the back. And massively out, so we need to adjust those. So I'll go up there and adjust these. Big day today up here at Noosa Marine. We managed to get both the 600s fitted to the 14 metre Noosa Marine Roger Hill built boat. Beautiful new boat. We're very excited to get it out on the water. Still a few more weeks till we get on the water. They've got some interior work to do, some upholstery work, some glass and some electrical work. When all that happens, we'll get down with the cameras again. We'll show you how these wonderful engines perform and keep you up to date with the progress as we go along. Please stay tuned. Good morning, exciting day today. It's finally the day we get to test the new Mercury 600 on the water. Follow us along on this journey and we'll see what these wonderful 600s do out on the water. The Mercury 600, being a larger engine, is designed to be on larger vessels. Therefore, we've got the situation of servicing. How do we service the engine? Easy. Mercury's made it so we can service the engine in the water. Everything's accessible by the top of the engine. We press the button, open the service hatch, and as you'll see, it's color coded. We've got the different color for the different fluids, so we can check the fluids while the vessel's in the water. We can extract the fluids and change the fluids. This is done in the water at every 200-hour intervals. The vessel doesn't need to come out of the water until the first 1,000 hours, where then we remove the lower unit and do the water pump. So they've made the boat, they've made these engines to suit the boats, the larger boats in the water, and thought of the idea of on-water servicing. Well, the time has come where we've got the Noosa Marine built Roger Hill design powered by the Twin 600 Mercuries. We've got it all finished and on the water. The boats come out very well because of the charging rate on these alternators. There is no generator on this boat. They've done a wonderful job with the 12-volt lithium packs. We've got the big beautiful Simrad screens. We've got the Mercury joystick, which is a great feature, and it's got the integrated bow thruster on the front. The manoeuvrability of this 14-metre boat is incredible. We can place it anywhere with the way the 600s work with the opposing drives and the 45-degree steering angles and the thrust from the bow. It's quite amazing the ability you have to park this boat without any stress. So really anyone can take this operation with the smarts of the Mercury, integrating the bow thruster, and park this boat anywhere. The water tests on this boat have been amazing. This boat really rides well. The V12 Mercuries are very smooth. Even once you get up on the plane and you feel the boat transfer from first to second, you hardly even feel it happen. It's just effortless. We were cruising around then at 20 knots at about just under 3,000 RPM and using just under 80 litres an hour combined. For a 14-metre boat, that's amazing fuel figures. Even up around the 26, 27 knots, we're only up around the 135 litres an hour combined, which is very little for a boat of this size and weight. The steering's very smooth. It's really nice how something to really get used to is the feel where you look back and the boat's steering but the motors aren't moving. So that's a feeling you get used to because these engines steer down at the drives at the bottom under the water. Mercury has thought of everything. They've put a little toolbar at the top here with a rudder indicator. Shows you the directions of the engine, so you never even think of going, well, where are the engines at? There's no need to look back anymore. All we've got to do is look up at the screen. That makes it really easy. And after a few minutes, you get used to the fact that the engines don't steer. The smoothness of the boat, the feel of the controls is amazing. It's nice how we can just sit along here, push the button, use two levers, or two levers once we're in port to make the boat easy to manoeuvre, or we can press the one lever, move the starboard lever out of the way and just drive off the one engine. It's nice to be able to palm the control and hold it like this for throttle control in the bigger water. Makes it very nice. Mercury's joystick piloting is by far the best on the market, and there's a reason why. They've been doing it the longest and they've really refined the process. So unlike other brands out there on the market, to use the joystick control from Mercury, as long as the controls are in neutral, you just touch the controls and away you go. Very easy to use. Another cool features that Mercury has on the joystick is the sky hook, the anchoring button. All we got to do is just push one button, you get a confirm sign on the screen, and we're now holding our position on the water. The engine will pick up the GPS satellites through the controls and position the boat and hold it in that position that we need. Awesome for docking, if you're pulling up to the marina, hit that button, get all your fenders and your lines ready, pull straight in, or out on some marks and you want to drop and catch some bait fish or fishing. Very nice feature. On the joystick control, we also have the autopilot feature. So while we're underway, I'll just get moving here. All we need to do is press the autopilot button and it will hold a heading. These are all the features that you can add to the joystick control systems. The skyhook and the autopilot are lovely features you can add, very easy to add to the new systems. Now if we need to change our course, we can just tap it, the joystick one direction, and each tap's 1 degree, or we twist it and each turn is 10 degrees of direction change. So very easy to use. You can also do it up on the screen here, where we can change our direction by 1 degree or 10 degrees, or turn the autopilot off and on. To disengage, very easy. Press the button on the control. Now let's just say we're underway. I'll put it in gear again. We'll go forward. I just want to show the ease and how simplified they've made the systems. I'll engage the autopilot, and you can feel that the steering is locked in. So at any point when you want to override the autopilot,
We don't need to press anything, so there's something and there's an emergency hazard in front of you, all you need to do is grab the wheel and it'll automatically disengage. Yes, admittedly at the start you'll feel it's a little tight, but you just give it a slight bit of pressure, it'll disengage the autopilot. Very, very safe feature. Another really nice feature that Mercury's built into their electronic steering is with these V12s, they've given you a 45 degree steering angle at wide lock, which gives you a lot of good manoeuvrability through the joystick control. But another nice feature they have, it's called quick steer. So when you're going at slow speeds, the steering speeds up and it's only goes down to under 3 turns lock to lock. But as you gain speed, that lock to lock speed turns up and the steering wheel might go to 4 turns lock to lock. So that's all speed related. So let's just say you're coming into dock and you need to get the steering wheel moved position. That quick steer makes it very, very nice, gives you more control of the boat and more handling, and makes it easier to dock and make those faster moves at lower speeds. They really have thought of everything. I just want to go out and burn some more petrol, because honestly this has been the funnest thing to drive today, and I feel very privileged in the boats that I get to work on. Well, that ends the journey here of installing these beautiful Mercury 600 engines on this Noosa Marine built vessel. We'd love to thank Julian from Noosa Marine for building this beautiful boat, the wonderful owners for engaging with Brisbane Marine, allowing us to rig it, fit the Mercury engines, and for giving us the time to get out on the water today to do all the filming.